Hello students, we're going to practice today adding fractions. This is a review of something you learned in 3rd or 4th grade. We're going to review this before we move on to do multiplication and division of fractions. And of course the first simplest type of problem we can have is to have two fractions that we're adding that have the same denominator. So in this case we have 1/8 plus 5/8. If we add those together we have 6/8. And the only thing to remember really there is we have to put our answer in simplest form. So both of these numbers are even. I can divide both of them by 2, so I know I can simplify. Any fractions that have a common factor in the numerator and denominator, that means we can divide both of those numbers, and so we can actually divide and simplify. So we're going to divide by 2, divide by 2. And our final answer will be 6 divided by 2 is 3, 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 3/4 is in simplest form. So please circle your answers when you're done, since we have lots of work there. The second problem, we have 3/5 plus 7/10. We do not have a common denominator. The denominators are different. So when we have different denominators, we need to change them so that they have a common denominator. I can't add fifths and tenths together because they're not the same size pieces. So I need to go ahead and put the same denominator for both of those. So what I need to do is first look to see if the larger denominator, if you can change that smaller denominator to the larger one. In this case, I can multiply 5 times 2 and get 10, so I can change them to tenths. If I can't do that, then I need to change both fractions. But in this case, I can multiply by 2 in the top fraction, which gives me 6/10. I'm going to keep the 7/10 the same. And now I have 6/10 plus 7/10, which is 13/10, or in this case, that makes 1 whole 1 and 3/10 left over. I have to then look at my fraction and see if the fraction part is in simplest form. In this case, 3/10 cannot be simplified, so that is in simplest form. So the answer is 1 3/10. Now, it can get slightly more difficult if I have two fractions that have a different denominator, unlike denominators, and I can't change one of them into the other. So if you look at the 3, I cannot multiply 3 by anything to get 5, which means I need to take both fractions and multiply them so that they have a common multiple. I'm going to look at 3 and 5. The least common multiple, the smallest multiple that I can change both of them to, is 15. So I need to multiply this 3 by 5 and get a new fraction that has 15 as a denominator. Same thing down here, except I'm multiplying by 3 because that will give me 15. And 4 times 3 is 12, so 12/15. And the first fraction, 3 times 5 is 15, 2 times 5 is 10. So I'm adding this together. I have 10/15 and 12/15, which adds up to 22/15. And I'm going to change that improper fraction. I'm going to change to 1 whole. And so 15/15 would have been 1 whole. And then I have, let's see how many 15ths I have left. I would have 7/15 more. So 22/15, 15 of those 15ths will make 1 whole, and then I have 7 more, so 7/15.